Command Tower. This is Golf Delta Oscar, requesting landing runway 33.
Nice landing, Lewis. Now, as you've guessed, we are not actually in a 737 landing at Birmingham Airport, but we are in Solihull College's aeronautical faculty, where here we're sitting in the simulator, which is state of the art. And it's great to be here at Solihull College because they're really at the cutting edge of providing our young people with the training necessary for really good new jobs.
2 years ago, Andy Street was elected the first ever mayor of the West Midlands. For 10 years before that, he was boss of John Lewis, and he's using that experience to take a business-like approach to solving our problems here in the West Midlands. So let's have a look at what Andy's been up to this last year.
For decades, our region didn't get the investment it needed, but that's starting to change now. We have a new train operator, West Midlands Rail, and they are delivering more carriages, more seats at rush hour, free Wi-Fi and additional evening services from this May. And just as excitedly, they are also rolling out the biggest timetable improvement for over 20 years.
But having Andy as the mayor has been so supportive for us in terms of his focus and his interest in transport, in particular in rail.
New train stations will open across the region, plus Andy is ambitious for even more stations like one in Aldridge. And Coventry and Wolverhampton stations are going to be rebuilt. Soon the Chase line will be electrified. More and more folk are using the trains, so hopefully across the West Midlands journeys will get easier.
Our tram system connects so much of our region and helps make journeys quicker and easier. Mayor Andy Street has made extending the metro a priority. He's been working with local councils to expand the tram line, and there's also won hundreds of millions of pounds in funding from the government to expand it. In Birmingham, the track is already being laid to extend the tram to the west of the city, and work is nearly finished in Wolverhampton. All of this is helping our trams get up to scratch, making our journeys quicker and easier. And Andy won't stop there, with work already to expand the metro into more of the region, including connections to the HS2 stations. This will mean more people can benefit from that investment.
For many of us, buses have been the main daily journey to work. However, the uses have been declining. This is because of no real investment and no support for lower fares. Fares were unlimited, so the further you traveled, the more you paid. For the last 2 years, Andy has been working with transport operators to bring our buses up to scratch. Fares are capped, and low fare zones have been brought in across Walsall, Dudley, Sandwell and Outer Birmingham. New money has been invested into the bus network. With a fleet of new and clean buses, it's all starting to work. Bus use here in the region is on the up.
For decades, our region wasn't building enough homes, and where they were being built were too often on our green spaces. And that's because we didn't have the investment to get sites like this one behind me cleaned up, so people were really struggling to get homes of their own. Now, after just 2 years of Andy being mayor, this is changing. Andy's been working really hard over the last year to help young people like me to get onto the housing ladder. He took the case for more homes to the government and secured an extra £350 million for house building in the West Midlands. House building is up 20% since last year compared to just 1% for the rest of the country.
We've got to face the facts. Homelessness is a national challenge, and a very real one here in the West Midlands.
When you're homeless, yeah, you might lay down and go to sleep, but you never sleep, you're never fully asleep, so you're always anxious, you know? You see all these people sleeping in doorways and that. If they had the opportunity, I reckon a lot of them will take that opportunity.
Some people say it's someone else's problem to solve, but Andy hasn't shied away from that challenge. He believes if we come together as a region, we can make a real difference. Andy has worked with the government to secure £9.6 million to house homeless people. The programme called Housing First is about getting homeless people off the streets and into homes of their own.
That's the base thing. If you had accommodation, you get your job, you get your benefits and everything, do you know what I mean?
Housing First has secured over 200 tenancies for the homeless here in the West Midlands, with 50 people already in homes.
High streets are struggling. It's the same story across the country. Shops closing and businesses moving out.
Like many people, I care about our local town centres. They are the heart of the community. And as a former boss of John Lewis, Andy knows a thing or two about retail. So he's got a long-term plan and he set up the High Streets Fund.
This fund is for local councils to invest in their high streets. That way they can attract new businesses, renovate old buildings and clean up their streets. So far, this local fund has put aside £20 million for the West Midlands.
And Andy has also been working with ministers to get fairer rates for local shops. After all, they do have to compete with shops online.
HS2 means big things for the economy of the West Midlands, and that means we are right at the heart of the country's newest railways, and work has already started. The derelict Curzon Street station is being transformed into a new station for HS2, and there will be a new station serving Solihull and the surrounding areas. And there is no doubt that HS2 is driving confidence and investment in our region.
Our continued confidence to invest in Digbeth, and indeed the wider development community's confidence to invest in the wider Birmingham market, is in no small part linked to major infrastructure projects such as HS2.
Statistics already show that HS2 has created almost 7,000 jobs in Birmingham alone.
This region is really turning around now. Under Andy, we've invested millions in transport, in infrastructure, in training, in skills, in supporting growth for everybody. Last year alone, over 32,000 new businesses started in the West Midlands. Andy wants to build on this incredible progress. We're now the national lead region for rolling out 5G internet. 5G is both a real technology platform but also a signal of we mean business and we mean growth. 5G is only part of the picture. We've got the National Battery Centre in Coventry, we have a Centre for Life Sciences and Technology in Birmingham, and we have electric and autonomous vehicle futures being built all over this region.
Looked into apprenticeships and then getting myself an apprentice. I seen what Andy was doing, and I thought it would be a good thing for myself to take on a young person who's willing to learn the ropes, and yeah, I've not looked back.
There is no doubt in my mind that getting a good apprenticeship is a great start in life, but recently numbers have been falling. When Andy stepped into office, he was determined to change this trend, and now the apprenticeships are up by 20%. For years, apprentices like me in the West Midlands got an unfair deal, while students got half-price travel on buses. Apprentices had to pay full price.
Now apprentices like me from across the West Midlands pay just half price on bus travel.
Andy promised that every young person that wants an apprenticeship can get one, so people like me can get the skills they need and get on in life. My apprenticeship with Access Hardware, provided by Southend City College Birmingham, has given me the platform to excel in my profession and fulfil my dreams.
Hi, I'm Imani, founder and creator of Imani Academy.
And for the last 2 years, Andy Street has been my mentor. Imani Academy is a female empowerment and character education organisation. As we all know, the West Midlands is one of the most diverse regions in the country, and diversity is a huge strength. Without it, I do not think Coventry would have won their bid for City of Culture. That's why we need to promote tolerance and understanding between different communities and faith. It's been a challenging year. The attacks on mosques shocked us all. That kind of criminal behaviour has no place in the West Midlands, and Andy is working hard to deal with these kind of intolerant actions. Andy wants to build a society where all communities are reflected and can thrive. And schools need to be able to teach the value of LGBT relationships. Sadly, that has been challenged at some of our schools.
This teaching is a right and a requirement under the equalities requirement from central government, and nothing inappropriate is being done.
Hello.
You used to live here, didn't you?
I did, yes. So very nice to see you. We came in, had a good look round, and
yes. You wanted to see the garden just for old time's sake. I knew that you're going into politics from a business background. I wondered which was the more brutal world.
Oh, it's a good question. I think there's only one answer. Politics is probably the more brutal.
You must enjoy being mayor, as you wouldn't want to do it again.
Exactly right. Yeah. No,
so
I've loved
you get
it.
some pleasure out of it.
It's been great fun, actually, an honour to do the job.
Right.
Another year before the next election, so lots to do then. So I hope the video gives you a real good feel of what's been going on in the mayoralty and across the region over the last year. And of course, we're looking forward to another year of real progress.